Es hora de dar el siguiente paso. Piensa en grande, piensa claramente, piensa en TSC.
Time to take a new look, maybe your first look at Buick. If smart, hip, and affordable is for you, Buick's your brand. Fruya Buick, Brownsville, Texas.
100 years ago, in the heart of the Rio Grande Valley, a spark was born. From the first dreamers who stepped onto these grounds, Texas Southmost College has stood as a promise that determination can overcome any challenge. Join us as we honor our past, celebrate our present, and ignite the future together. Texas Southmost College, 100 years strong, and the next 100 begin with you.
I fell on a loose towel at the grocery store, and now they're saying it's my fault. Do you think you could help?
Of course I can help. You should be focused on feeling better.
Oh, thank you, Law Champ. Hey, do you think I can get a selfie?
Of course.
This is the island where even the grown-ups forget what day it is. South Padre is more than an island. It's the island.
At Tortilleria Ibañez, flavor starts fresh every day. Crispy flautas, homemade tamales, and our signature chicken salad, all made for you. Tortilleria Ibañez, tradition on every plate.
Good morning. Welcome back to our second episode of the fifth set with Coach Regina Tijerina. We are in the Bloodhound Cafe on a Monday morning, August 17th, 2026. Thanks for joining us again, as always. And again, a special thank you to Miss Amanda for opening the doors here at the Bloodhound Cafe. Happy Monday, Coach.
Happy Monday.
Absolutely. So the Lady Bloodhounds coming off of their first tournament of the year, not just their first tournament, but also their first regular season game of the season. And it wasn't a bad performance, I thought, over the past weekend. The Lady Bloodhounds went 4-2 at the Donna ISD tournament. Good enough for a fourth place finish, and the Lady Bloodhounds finished as the runner-up in the silver bracket, Coach. So, looking back at that tournament, we're going to go back and start on Thursday. The Lady Bloodhounds took on Mercedes, Gruya, and Mission Veterans in day one. And game one against Mercedes, let's kind of go back to that just a little bit. You've been a head coach before, but this was your first regular season game as a head coach for St. Joe. There was a lot of excitement. There had to have been, right?
Yes, it was. It was excited. But the girls, I think they were like barely coming back. Like, I think they were like not there. The second set, they were just, I don't know, they weren't focused, but they did start really good. Yeah, and then they finished really good.
Yes. Yeah. So at Mercedes, we wound up winning that one in 3 sets. We won the first one, lost the second one. And then that third set, they won, I think it was 15-5, that third set. What I saw in that second set is, Mercedes came out on fire, guns blazing. They got out to a big lead. And it wasn't until late in the set when the team really kind of figured it out. And during the broadcast, I was telling, the people, like, they started slow, but I have this theory, this thought that when teams tend to start slow in a second or third set, when they finish strong, they tend to carry that over to the next set.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the kids did. What do you think changed late in that second set that got them to where they were going in that third set?
Well, they realized that, they were back in slow pace. I mean, they weren't really listening to instructions. I was telling them, like, you need to do this, you need to do that. They weren't even following the instructions. They weren't focused. So they realized that they weren't focused. Then they started, like, communicating, okay, I'm going to cover this spot. Hey, we need to do this. We need to attack here. We need to listen where to hit the spots, and they started, like, waking up for the third set.
Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
they showed it because it was 15-5 in that third set, and it went by pretty quick, and they adjusted. They adjusted, and
They
they carried
just
that momentum into that third set. Gruya, they were able to take care of Gruya quite easily. No disrespect, but they got that sweep there. And then it was the Mission Veterans game, and that was the game that was really like the true test. And we saw a little bit of the youth that we're
yeah.
going to continue to see. It's a young team. It's a young season. In that first set, but in that second set, we saw flashes of what this team could be.
Yeah.
I felt that we had the lead for most of the set.
Yeah.
And then I know late, I think it was 22-19, 21-19, somewhere
Yeah.
along that neighborhood. But just talk about the team and how they responded in that second set.
I mean, they were doing really good. Defense was organized. They were attacking. Zones were wherever we were telling them, like coaches, they were following everything. I think they got too comfortable at the end. Um, they already had probably in their minds like, okay, we're up. We're gonna finish this set. But then little details that we still need to work. I mean, those are the first games. We have 2 weeks working together,
Yeah.
and we do have a really young team. Um, I think they need a little bit more experience. I mean, it's great that we're competing against good teams, so that helps us. But yeah, we need to adjust those small details, communication, and just finish the set.
Yeah, there were some cases where we saw the communication was on point,
Yeah,
and the sets were on point, and I think we're really there was a stretch in day two and day one where we saw Maya was feeding it to Gali,
yeah,
and it was right on point. Maya was feeding it to Vida, and she was taking some good swings. And then Regina,
Regina too.
I think she had a tremendous weekend. The senior hitter. And I didn't even tell you this, but during the Lyford game, a gentleman was sitting in front of me, and Regina went up and made a kill, and he looks back and he's like, "Hey, what grade is number 9 in?" I said, "Oh, she's a senior." She's the best hitter I've seen all weekend.
Yeah,
I was like,
no,
"Wow,
yeah,
that says a lot."
yeah.
You know.
No, no, no. Yeah, she did amazing. I mean, she had those skills, blocks. I mean, she even served.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So no, she did amazing. I mean, all the team really did really good. Against Mission, it was I think their best game.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
they did
Yep.
everything. Like I said, even defense. Like our libero was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Our Diaz, Bianca, she was passing. Vida, Annie,
Mm-hmm.
like everyone. Like Sky hitting from the back row.
Mm-hmm.
Gali, she was
Yep.
just scoring back to
Mhm.
back. Regina, and then Maya too. She was
Yep.
trying like she had a good connection
Mm-hmm.
there, and that's what we're trying to work on
Yep.
later on, like this week, having trying to connect, like having
Right.
better connection
Right.
with the pass setting and everything to so we can look more organized and they can be have like better chemistry.
Right. Yeah, it's still very early, but
Yeah.
like I said, the flashes and the spurts we did see throughout the tournament, where we saw like this is what this team could be. We saw a lot of really good rallies against Mission Vets in
Yeah.
that first set. I mean, the first set, the score isn't as indicative as the game was as close.
Yeah.
So you had to be there to really understand that game was a lot closer than what the scoreboard looked.
Yeah.
But you've been around this game, your whole life. You've seen it from, the college level, high school level, and with girls that are just stepping in as freshmen. And what I like to call them is plug in and play. To where traditionally maybe, when I was in school, when you were an underclassman, you took that time to be on the bench and you were learning from the upperclassmen. But these days, you're seeing freshmen step right in and play a varsity role. What do you think a testament is to that, and how do these freshmen, what makes them be ready so soon?
Well, I think I don't believe in that thing of you're a freshman, you can't be on the
Mhm.
varsity
It's
team
done.
or
It used to be. It's not like that
no,
anymore.
no.
It's the sport, not just in volleyball, but the sports in general at the high school level has changed.
Yeah.
To where you're seeing freshmen just come right in. Yeah. Talk about that, and then what do you think's been that difference?
I think the girls, I mean, putting up the work like all year round and
Mhm.
just coming to practice like with everything 100% committed. I mean, having that mentality of like, you know what, let's compete.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what grade level we're competing. Like,
Mhm.
but if they're seniors, if they're junior, like whatever.
Yep.
I think they have a really great mentality of like compete and really good attitude to show what they got.
Yep.
You know, so I feel like that's a thing that our freshmen have
Right.
here.
Right.
They have a really good
And it's we got a long way to go, but I think, you know, the freshmen showed that the moment isn't too big for them. You know, they stepped right into a tournament, and, you know, like I said, they just showed the moment wasn't too big for them.
Yeah.
Were there a little nerves? Sure, I
Yeah.
think that's just normal. But by the time we get to, you know, September, when we're talking about district play, you know, coaches in the past have told me, well, once they're 20 games into a season, they're not freshmen anymore.
Yeah.
They've got all the experience. But I think this weekend showed a lot of really good positive flashes. And again, the team did go 4-2 over the weekend, and it was a very competitive tournament
Yeah, it
overall. The only 2 losses came to Mission Vets, who won the tournament, and then Lyford, who won the silver bracket. So 4th place finish, runner-up in the silver bracket. So not a bad weekend for the Lady Bloodhounds. They do have a match tomorrow, and they will be going to Willacy County to take on the Lyford Lady Bulldogs, which is going to be a rematch from Saturday. This time, we get to go a best 3 out of 5. So we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to break down day 2 of the tournament, where we saw St. Joe get wins against La Feria, Hannah, and eventually dropping to Lyford. And then later on in the show, we will talk about that Lyford matchup and preview it tomorrow. When we come back, this is the 5th set with Coach Tijerina.
TSC has changed me to make me realize that I can accomplish things. Just don't give up. I've come a long way from where I was to what I am now, and there's no limit to where I'm going.
Give your little one the best start at Brownsville ISD's Pre-K3 and Pre-K4 programs. At BISD, 3 and 4-year-olds develop fundamental skills that pave the way to lifelong success. With quality educators, access to the latest technology, and free nutritious meals to fuel the day, our young minds explore and learn in exciting new ways. Enroll your 3 and 4-year-old today at Brownsville ISD, the best choice.
Kenny Perez came from a small town in Texas. At Kenny Perez Law, we won't stop fighting until our clients get what's rightfully theirs. We're right by your side, no matter what. Call Kenny Perez Injury Lawyers today, 956-999-1111.
The standard of excellence has always been Cadillac, so be iconic and drive one. Free your Cadillac, Brownsville, Texas.
Rev up your...
Welcome back to the 5th set with Coach Regina Tijerina on a Monday morning. It is Season 4, Episode 2. We are back in the Bloodhound Cafe talking a little bit of Lady Bloodhound volleyball again. St. Joe coming off of a 4-2 run this past weekend at the Donna ISD tournament. Not a bad run. I was just talking with Coach that the 2 losses were to eventual champion Mission Vets and then Lyford in that silver bracket. So a good weekend of Lady Bloodhound volleyball. 6 games in 2 days. So they certainly got their work in. It is game day tomorrow. We will hit the roads to Lyford to take on the Lady Bulldogs. At 5:30 will be the JV, and 6:30 will be the varsity. So backtracking to Saturday's championship matchup in the silver bracket. St. Joe got their morning off with a win against La Feria. went on to beat Hannah in that second match. A lot of time in between the matches. The tournament went a little bit behind, but starting that game against La Feria, I think the girls just really whatever momentum they had Friday, they carried it into Saturday, and they came up with 2 sweeps. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, and they did pretty good, even serving, just having an aggressive serve.
Yeah. Yes, that was a big point in the La Feria match, where we saw Maya catch fire from the service line. We saw Vida go on a little 3-4 point streak from the service line. And that was good to see, because as the season goes on, we're gonna learn the strengths of this team. And you and I talked before that when Carmina was here, that was a definite strength from the service line, and it can be an advantage.
Yeah.
So how big of an advantage was that, having that service line on point?
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, we practiced the serves because I feel like on Thursday we did miss spots and we missed several serves on the game's important points, and it showed on Saturday. It showed that we practiced that and we executed, and they were following. I mean, I was telling them, hey, serve here. They were listening. Their serves were there. Hey, they were, and then they got more confident as they were scoring. They got momentum, and they started serving more aggressive. Like risk your serve, be aggressive. That's our first attack. So
Yeah, and it makes a difference when you look at games, and when they're close matches. The difference at the end could be the service line when you get those 3 or 4 points. And one, it can change the momentum in a good way, and it can change the momentum in a bad way.
Yes.
We saw that day 1 in the Mission Vets game, where we were on point. We missed a serve, gave the ball back. They went on the attack. So certainly that serve receive game was a big point on Saturday in the wins. They beat La Feria in straight sets. Then they turned around and beat Hannah again in straight sets. And Hannah had kind of been a thorn on our side the last couple of years. We didn't play them last year, but in the previous years, Hannah had always seemed to have St. Joe's number for whatever reason, whether it's the 6A mentality and the small school mentality, whatever it may be. But I thought that was a good win for a lot of these girls that have been here before, that have lost to Hannah, to kind of just beat them in a tournament and just kind of flush that out. But what did you see in that Hannah match?
Same thing. I feel like our serves were very aggressive, and the girls were just organized. Everything was like, communication was on point, defense was on point, and our kills, everything, tips, rolls, kill, like everything. We were doing everything really good. And I told the girls, I mean, when you're focused and you're listening and you're doing everything, we focus on our side, everything's gonna come. Everything's gonna come as long as you're following everything how you're supposed to be. Like, stay in your place, wait to see where the ball is going, and then follow. If it's not comfortable, just put it in place.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was another sweep. So there was 2 sweeps right out of the gate. And I think the Hannah game too, we saw a little bit of everything. Like you said, we saw some really good kills, we saw some pretty good defense, we saw some good rallies, and of course that serve receive game was on point. And I think there was one point in that match where the ball, I think Annie came in the front row and she like tipped it, and the ball like rolled on the top of the net and then fell on the Hannah side. And I was like, sometimes when it's going your way, it's just going your way. And certainly.
And they were celebrating. I mean, that's another thing. I don't remember Mercedes against Mercedes. I remember the second set, going back to that. They weren't celebrating. They weren't feeling the points. So I told them, whenever you celebrate each point, everything, like, you get the momentum, you get the feeling, and then it's gonna come. It's gonna come.
Right. So absolutely. Yeah. And the energy was up. The energy was up all weekend. The only thing that was like, we kind of didn't catch a break was we beat Hannah, and then we turned right around and played Lyford. Yeah. And it's not an excuse, but Lyford did get a break before, so they kind of had a little bit fresher legs. And I was telling because Coach Sammy had called and asked how the game went. And I said, by the time we got to the third set with Lyford, that was like playing a fifth set. Yeah. For the girls with 2, and so I said the legs were a little tired.
They did mention that. The girls did mention. I was like, there's no excuses, but I understand. I understand.
Right. Yeah. But the Lyford one, we won the first set. and then we dropped the next two. But skipping toward that third set, just kind of what did you see in that third set that might have been aside from maybe the fatigue, maybe what might have been the difference?
I don't want to say. I mean, I would say miscommunication and those small details that we need to work on. Like I said, we just have 2 weeks in practicing. I feel like we're working on that connection, whether like if the pass is not perfect, how can we fix it?
Right.
You know? Um the ref was not.
Oh, the R1?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some calls. There was some calls.
There was some calls, yeah. We were fighting for 1 point. I remember I think it was MJ. She served and it was in. The line judge marked in and the ref was like, it's out. And I think that was a very important point.
What was the yellow card for?
Yellow card.
Was there a yellow card? I saw the ref on the far side on Saturday.
Oh, wait. Against who?
With us. Might have been the Hannah or the Feria game. I saw him bring out a yellow card. I wasn't sure for what.
Oh, okay, because Bianca and MJ switched and they just ran.
Oh,
so
okay.
they need to wait till
Okay.
they see the number and they
Gotcha,
can tell you can
okay.
go in.
Cause
So
I
they
was
just
like,
ran.
because I was like, no one was arguing.
Yeah,
or
no, I'm
anything.
like,
So I was like, what's the
Bianca-
yellow card for? Okay, but just something as
yeah,
simple
the sub, they just went
Okay.
in. They just ran. They
Okay.
didn't wait for him to like, like
Right.
mark. So they
right.
were-
You know what's funny is
I'm like-
I didn't know. And that's just a simple, just a young mistake. Hey, you
Yeah.
got to make sure with the ref something very you can fix, nothing bad. But I didn't know you could give out was it red and yellow in volleyball, right?
No, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know how I learned you can get a red card?
How?
Carmina. I was like, because one of the games at Saks, it was just refs weren't the greatest, and Carmina was questioning the R1, and when he gave her the answer, she didn't like the answer he gave her, and so she just kind of told him something back, and he was like, red card. But it was one of those things where it was like she was just trying to fire up her team,
Yeah.
and she was standing up for her team, so it was one of those red cards that are like, well, good.
Yeah.
It was a good red card, but for the life of me, I didn't know that you could give yellows or reds up until then.
Yeah, and I think on the Lyford game, the first set, the ref did mention, well, he yelled at me, 6 feet off, and he moved me from the line, right? And the girls were with that in their mind.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, hey, coach, why did he yell at you? And I'm like, don't focus on that.
Yeah.
Get back to the game. Like,
Yeah.
no, don't focus on that.
Yeah.
But he did, I didn't say anything. Why? Because we had already the
yellow
card. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to
Yeah.
stay, like,
Yeah.
breathe out. You know?
Yeah.
Like, because I was there too. Like, it was our game. We were fighting for the first
For
set.
sure,
we
yeah.
got the first set. But it was in that moment where, like, the girls were getting that momentum back. And he
Right.
did that.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know if he's, like, trying to do it on purpose, but I'm not going to react
Yeah.
to that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, the girls just finished that set, and then in the second set, he was kind of like going with the girls too. Like he started yelling at the girls, "Get on the court!" And I was like, he yelled at my assistant coach too. So I was like, that's not good. I mean, and
Yeah.
and I mean, I think that sometimes can affect it, like the game or
Right.
the team,
Mhm.
But I mean, I told the girls not to focus on that.
Yep, for sure, absolutely. But again, a good weekend overall. 4-2, like I said, isn't bad, and it was a good match against Lyford.
Yeah.
And Lyford traditionally, if you're in tune with the volleyball community in the Valley, Lyford's always good. They've always had a good team, and Coach
Yeah.
Rebecca, you have the both in common. Y'all were coaching at Jubilee at one point, in y'all's careers, so. That would have been a fun matchup, by the way. If Hannah would have lost to Jubilee, we would have played Jubilee.
Yes.
in that. That would have been fun, just for the sake of the parity and the ties to Jubilee.
Yeah.
But either way, we still got a Brownsville matchup on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. So hopefully the kids got some rest. Today they're gonna get back on the court, and tomorrow we're gonna first or second road trip of the year to Willacy County and take on Lyford, and hopefully that works out well, and it's gonna be a 3 out of 5. It's gonna be a
Yes.
full length game, and I know the girls are eager to kind of get some revenge from
Yes.
Saturday in a fully length
Yes,
game.
and that's
so.
what I liked from the girls.
Right?
They're like, hey, no, we have to work, we have to do this,
Yeah.
and they have that.
Competitive
Yes.
mindset for sure. We talked about the things that we liked from the team. Maybe what are some things that you want to maybe clean up go with this week and going forward?
Communication. I think we need to communicate more. But I think that comes with the time.
Yes,
You
for
know,
sure,
like
for sure.
building that chemistry, and that's what, like I said before,
Mhm.
that's what we're trying to work on. Like having the girls have good chemistry, connect to each other. How can we make things better
Right.
and still be aggressive?
Right.
You know.
For sure. Yeah, the chemistry it's going to come with time and with the girls getting accustomed to each other, because there's a handful of freshmen and they're going to get used to the sophomores and juniors, but those are good things. Those are good problems to have.
Yeah.
To where those things you can correct. The simple things as the yellow card. Hey girls, make sure you little small details that can be coached up and that you're going to do a good job at. So a lot to look forward to tomorrow again at Lyford. The JV will start at 5:30 and the varsity will start at 6:30. We encourage you to come out and support the girls. If you can't make it, we'll have it live on the Bloodhound channel. And then we're a week away from our home opener next Tuesday, home against La Jolla. We will finally be back home at the Dome. And then next week we will head to the PI tournament, and that'll be a 3-day tournament.
Yeah.
Which last year was a heck of a tournament to be at. There was a lot of good teams there and a lot of excitement. And the Donna tournament, the PI tournament, we talked about the chemistry, the communication. These are the games to do it.
Yeah.
Figuring out rotations, figuring out communication, and all those things. So it's a good learning tool to have.
Yeah, we're still figuring out. I mean, we don't have that. Oh, we're playing with this team. No,
Right.
we're still
Right.
figuring out like those pieces and moving everything. Like we don't have a team.
Right.
Like this is the team. No,
Right.
we're still.
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
that.
we have an identity of what this team can be, but I think we haven't truly found it just yet. So we'll figure out the identity and what the DNA of this team is. I think sooner rather than later, given that the season's already, we're talking about non-district right now, but I promise you, very soon we're going to be talking about our first district game, and it's going to get here very quick. That is in September against John Paul II, and of course it's a road game. So we're going to open district up on the road. But for now, Lady Bloodhounds will be heading to Lyford tomorrow. Be sure to tune in. If not, we encourage you to come out and support the girls. Coach, anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, just come support and go Lady Bloodhounds.
Absolutely. So again, stay tuned for some more Lady Bloodhound volleyball tomorrow. Tip off at 5:30 and 6:30. I'm Kevin. That's Coach Regina Tijerina. This has been the 5th set. Again, a special thank you to Miss Amanda and everyone here in the Bloodhound Cafe. We will see you all next week.
Auto Body Repair Program. In just 2 semesters, you'll gain the skills to become an auto body repair specialist. Learn using industry standard iCar Academy to get you job ready fast. If you're ready to drive your career forward, TSC's Auto Body Repair Program is the place to start. Classes are filling fast, so visit tsc.edu and apply today.